海外メディアも大きく報じている水原一平氏の違法賭博問題。連日いろんな番組で大谷選手と水原氏のやりとりを報じています。今回は違法賭博問題を取り上げた海外番組を翻訳動画としてご覧ください。
If the bookmaker and financial advisor and CPA and agent had questions about this account, they knew it existed, they knew they didn't have eyes on it, and they would ask, according to this affidavit, Mitsuhara, hey, you know, the issues we have with this arrangement is that if he makes a gift or does something that we don't know about that could be make him tax liable, that's an issue for us. And Mitsuhara's answer that they accepted, according to this affidavit, was, yeah, we're not doing anything like that. Don't worry about it. This is exactly the way Ohtani wants it set up. And I guess your point is that in the one or, I guess, handful of times that they would all be in the same room, they didn't bring it up right then and there. But then again, that's the other questions I have, too, is how much English does Ohtani know, right? Like, would he have absolutely no idea? Because the affidavit also said, Alden, which is interesting, Alden Gonzalez of ESPN here, is the way that Ohtani found out about it in South Korea at the end of last month, and how he was in the room when Mitsuhara spoke in English to the Dodgers team writ large about what was happening, and he left that room without fully grasping what was happening because he didn't. I mean, he didn't know, right? I mean, what's the reporting on the way that everything went down in South Korea that you have, Alden?
Yeah, and Tisha Thompson, my colleague, initially reported this about Shohei Ohtani not really finding out, or at least even part of it, until that meeting in South Korea after the first game when Ippei addressed the team, other members of the front office addressed the team. And Shohei Ohtani, when he gave his long statement on March 25th, provided an element of this that, in my conversations with Dodgers officials, was an important part of this. And he said that before, and I hope I'm remembering the sequence of events correctly. I think I am. He said that before that meeting, Ippei Mizuhara told him, or after the meeting, told him, hey, look, we need to talk in the hotel one-on-one. So apparently, according to the complaint, according to what Shohei Ohtani told us in his statement, Ippei Mizuhara addressed the team, told them in that moment he has a gambling addiction. Shohei Ohtani has been helping him pay off his gambling debts. That story is going to come out. And according to Shohei Ohtani, the follow-up meeting was for Ippei to reveal this to him. So that's what's in the complaint. That's what Shohei Ohtani said previously. To answer your initial question about Ohtani's grasp of English, he knows English. He knows Spanish. How much he grasps it, how fluent is he? Probably not very much. I've been told by many people that he knows more English than people think he does. I think it would be fair to say he doesn't know English well enough to keep up in long conversations. It's gotten better. But that's another one of the more interesting parts, right? That you get to South Korea and you don't really realize this until Ippei is addressing the team. I will say too, Rich, what we were talking about with regard to the communication going through Ippei with regard to that account in question, I think it highlights how much trust Shohei Ohtani had in this person, how much of a responsibility this person carried for him. And if everything that's been laid out in the affidavit, which backs up everything that Shohei Ohtani laid out, if all of that is true, you sort of feel bad for Shohei Ohtani that somebody he relied upon so heavily took advantage of him in this way. But I do want to emphasize, we don't know that to be 100% true. Ippei is innocent until proven guilty. I'm just saying, if that is the case, you can't help but feel sympathy for him in that moment.
But the facts are just so damning. I mean, there's no question in my mind that if these facts were placed in front of me and I'm on a jury, there's no question the way I would go into the jury room and rule. I mean, this is really damning, to say the least, in terms of Ippei Mizuhara. Where is he right now? Where is Mr. Mitsuhara as we're conversing?
I would assume he's in Southern California because he is due in court later this afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an initial hearing. He's gonna surrender to authorities. He's gonna be out on bond. I don't think he's gonna enter a plea. But he is expected at court. Last I heard, 2 p.m. Pacific time, Los Angeles.
How does he, I don't know. I'm looking at these documents. How does he have? Who's bonding him out? You know, is it Moscone? I mean, that's a Midnight Run reference. I'm sorry.
Well done.
Okay. So what's the other questions you have? Lastly, for you, Alden, like where do we go from here?
Well, the big one is going to be obviously what happens with Ippei Mizuhara, how far he takes this in terms of his defense, what his sentencing is. Mm-hmm. And look, the big question that I still have is the one that I mentioned earlier, is how does an account with tens of millions of dollars get in the hands solely of Ippei Mizuhara? How is it that even still, reading the affidavit and reading about how he impersonated Shohei Ohtani and how he got the account linked to his phone number, according to the affidavit, it's still hard to wire that much money, right? Like there are a lot of steps, I would think. I don't have experience wiring that much money, but I would think there are a lot of steps required in wiring that much money. How does that continue to happen? And how is it that there is not a single instance in a 6-year period where look, it's easy to play Monday morning quarterback in these situations. I get it. But how is there not one instance in a 6-year period where you're not directly asking Shohei Ohtani, hey, are you sure that you're okay with this? Ippei keeps saying you want this private. Is that true? And if it is, it just goes back to the dynamic of their relationship and how much trust Shohei Ohtani had in Ippei.
Well, I guess the issue with that, Alden, is based on this document that in this affidavit that question to be posed directly to Shohei Ohtani would have to be posed through Mitsuhara. That's the, like that would have to be the moment where, hey, Ippei, you've got to ask him, and then they bring another interpreter in the room to make sure he's saying the right thing, although they might never have suspected that Ippei would not have Ohtani's back and would be so remarkably deceptive. That would have to be the case.
It sounds, and I think there is an element of this from Shohei Ohtani's agent, who is not named, but it's Nez Balelo, where he essentially says he had no reason to doubt Ippei Mizuhara. And it goes back to just how shocking all of this is. From the very onset, when there were so many questions around how involved, if at all, Shohei Ohtani was in this whole operation, this is not anything that anybody could possibly see coming. And in my time covering baseball, and it's been a while at this point, this is as salacious and as surprising a story as I've ever been in front of.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.
水原一平氏から謝罪の気持ちも聞かれる中、真実のすべてが報じられることを願います。そして大谷選手には周りの雑念を振り払い最高の成績を残してもらいたいです。このチャンネルは日本人選手に対する海外のインタビューなどの翻訳動画をご紹介します。ぜひ、チャンネル登録高評価よろしくお願いいたします。